continue with part 2 of Guiding Light in a moment.
Wednesday, Charles in charge.
This portion of Guiding Light is presented by Duncan Hines chocolate chip cookies, crispy, chewy like Mom's, and by Comet, the cleanser that puts more power behind every stroke.
This isn't going to do any good.
Lou Jack, if we figure out who really did it, we'll be able to get you out of here.
So we know where everybody was when the lights went out. Big deal, Beth.
They were all close enough to Andy to pull it off, and everybody had enough time to do it.
But where does that leave us? We haven't eliminated anybody.
It's a start, Lou Jack. Look, who had the most to lose if Andy had played that tape?
Philip. The tape proved that he set up the explosion at the garage. He'd have to face you. He'd have to admit that he was the one responsible for your blindness. He'd go to jail, Beth.
It could have been India. She had a lot at stake. If that tape had been played, she would have lost Philip, and she'd do anything to hang on to him. Maybe even murder.
You know, that's what gets me about this whole thing.
What?
We know that Philip is guilty of arson, and India of blackmail, but murder. I mean, we're talking the big leagues here, Beth.
I know. How could anybody kill another person?
I don't know. I mean, after all the things that I did in my life, I never even came close to that.
I know. You couldn't. They...
Somebody could. And did. Somebody gutsy as hell, that's for sure.
Pretty unscrupulous. Lou Jack, do you think Warner Andrews is that kind of person?
It's possible. If it meant protecting himself, the guy is a sleaze. He might do anything. We both know he did a lot of dirty work for Miles.
No. No, you don't believe your mother did it, do you?
I don't know what to think about my mother anymore.
Lou Jack, I can't imagine her picking up a gun and shooting someone with it.
She didn't have to shoot him herself, Beth. She could have had one of her flunkies do it for her. I mean, Andrews and Bailey was standing right there.
No, wait a minute. Your mother wouldn't do that and then let you take the blame for it. She loves you too much.
Oh, she loves me, huh?
Yes.
Then where is she now? Why isn't she here? Huh?
Everything's gonna be okay, baby. It's gonna be all right.
My mother turned against me when she covered up that tape. How do I know she won't do it again?
No one could possibly think I killed Andy Ferris.
Oh,
The whole idea is preposterous.
is it? You've already gone to extraordinary lengths to possess that tape. Who's to say you wouldn't go a little further?
How dare you say a thing like that?
It was your gun.
That's beside the point.
I'd say they have a pretty good case. You had motive, opportunity,
So did half the people in that room.
including your son.
Brandon didn't do it. I know that. He couldn't kill anybody.
Maybe not. But he couldn't look any guiltier if he tried.
That's why I have to have the tape, Warren. Don't you see? It may be the only thing that can clear him.
It'll do more than that.
What?
You're not thinking this morning, Alexandra. You're talking about who killed Andy Ferris and who stole that tape as if they were completely unrelated events.
Of course. It's all one and the same thing, isn't it?
We find out who stole that tape.
We find the murderer.
Well, thank you both for your cooperation. And Mrs. Spaulding, about that earring of yours we found. I'm afraid we're going to have to hang on to it for a while. You'll get it back once the case is closed.
That's quite all right, Lieutenant. I'm just very happy you recovered it.
Well, I'm sure you were concerned about it.
Yes, I was. Lieutenant, are you going to charge Lou Jack with murder?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, Mrs. Spaulding. Why do you ask?
He's my stepbrother. Naturally, I'm very concerned.
Of course. Well, I'll be going off now. Thanks again.
Good day.
Oh, Marlon. Seeing you again. Guess this is the day for it, huh?
Right. Good morning.
Good morning.
What did he mean by that? Oh, we bumped into each other at police headquarters earlier this morning.
What were you doing there?
Trying to figure out where this investigation is heading.
And?
Of course, nobody could come right out and say it, but I think they're trying to build a case against Lou Jack.
Come on, why is everybody so surprised? He did it.
I'm not so sure about that.
It had to be Lou Jack. He was the only one with the motive.
Not according to what he said last night. Now, he made some pretty ugly accusations against you, Philip.
Oh, come on, Roy.
Did Andy Ferris have a tape incriminating you? And are you guilty of blowing up Lou Jack's club?
I'm telling you that I think you're...
Ross, I never saw this Andy Ferris until he came to that party last night. So how the hell am I supposed to be on this tape with him at all?
I don't know, but Lou Jack seemed quite sure of himself, Philip.
Lou Jack has been blaming me for that explosion ever since he was convicted of it. Then this Ferris character, when he didn't testify at his trial, Lou Jack, he blamed me.
It's true, Ross. Lou Jack wasn't rational about it at all. Lou Jack tried to convince me that Philip was responsible for it. And when I told him he had absolutely no evidence, he said he didn't care. He was going to get Philip anyway.
I never thought he'd go this far.
So then you're saying that Lou Jack set this whole thing up with Ferris last night in order to incriminate you?
Yeah, well, I mean, sure. Ferris went right along with him. I mean, he didn't want to take the rap for this explosion any more than Lou Jack did.
But when Ferris decided to back out on it the last minute...
Lou Jack killed him.
There was a tape in Andy's hand last night, and everybody in that room saw it.
But nobody in that room heard it. And after the murder, well, it disappeared. Now, for all we know, Ross, the cassette could have been Perry Como.
Come on, Ross, they were bluffing. That's why Ferris chickened out.
Last night, you said that Ferris had worked for Allen, but you never met the man, is that right?
Look, Lou Jack said that I hired Ferris. So I went back to the files at Spaulding. I looked up Ferris, and I found out that my father had hired him to do a job years ago.
Right.
Oh, great. Great. Thanks a lot, Uncle. My own uncle doesn't even believe me. That's just great. One hell of a note. Thanks a lot.
Philip deserves better than this.
I'm sorry, but there are certain things that don't make sense to me here. For instance, why would Lou Jack accuse you of sabotaging his club in the first place?
Because of Beth.
Beth?
Lou Jack couldn't accept the fact that his negligence made Beth blind, so he had to blame somebody else.
Can't you see? I was the perfect target. I rescued Beth from that explosion. And then I spent a lot of time afterwards helping her. It drove Lou Jack crazy. And he could never believe the fact that I was really over her.
And were you?
No, not at the time. India knows that.
Ross,
But I am now.
I'm sorry about what's happening to Lou Jack. I'm sorry about what happened to his club. But Philip and I have nothing to do with it in any way.
India, I didn't say that you did, and I did not come here this morning to accuse anybody of anything. I'm sorry if it's not coming off that way, all right?
Ross, Philip and I are together again. We have an incredible future ahead of us. We're expecting our first child. Now, I don't want to think about anything else right now.
You may have to, India.
What do you mean by that?
I want you to be prepared for the consequences of all of this. Now, we were at that party last night, and we're all connected to Spaulding Enterprises, and this publicity, this is nothing compared to what we're going to get in the future.
I'm not afraid of some paper. They can't hurt us.
India, every aspect of this case is going to come to light publicly.
We have nothing to hide.
Good. But you remember, Philip, murder touches everyone involved. It's simply a question of how.
Well, I'm really disappointed, Nola. You've got everything so well planned, you don't need me anymore.
Oh, Henry, thank you.
Nola, have I got a surprise for you?
Oh, Quentin, have I got a surprise for you?
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, I do. I can't...
Henry, Annabelle, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Don't you have something to do in the kitchen?
No, do we?
We'll think of something.
Okay. See you later.
Oh, Quentin, I can't wait to show you this.
Nola, we are going to Miami Beach.
We who?
You and I, the two of us, alone together at last.
Oh, Quentin, I just want to show you this. Look at this.
No, don't worry. I mean, you won't have to worry about the children. We'll have Henry take care of the children with the full staff. And for to make you feel any better, we'll bring Bea in.
Oh, no,
Of course,
I feel fine.
I'm going to have to take care of those conferences while I'm down there and then present that paper. But there'll still be plenty of time for walks in the moonlight, dancing till all hours, etc., etc., etc.
Oh, Quentin, really, that sounds wonderful. But just look at this for a second. If you just take it...
Next week. I cannot wait for next week. It'll be like a second honeymoon.
Next week? You want to go next week?
Yeah.
Oh, Quentin, that's out of the question. I'm opening Nola Aerobics.
Well, what?
Nola Aerobics, my exercise studio.
Oh, yes, of course. Now, you can just postpone that for a little while.
Oh, no, we can't. It's all, we got the lease on the building right here, and we're all ready.
No, look, I am very glad that you finally found a
career,
Oh,
Quentin.
yes, a
It's a career.
But I still cannot understand why you just won't put things off for a little bit, all right?
Because this is important to me, just like your conference is important to you.
No,
this is
you
important
cannot
to me.
compare archaeology to aerobics.
Oh, yes, I can. You go to Miami Beach. I'm staying right here.
Now, look, Nola, I love you, you see, and I want to spend a little time alone with you. So you, my dear, are coming with me.
Oh, no.
And I will not take no for an answer.
No, I know. No.
Nola!
No.
We made the corn muffins especially for you today. I think you baked some rolls.
Did you find that tape?
No, but we've been talking to those people you implicated. So far, nobody admits that tape even exists.
But my mom must have told
No, we
you
haven't
that...
talked to her yet, Lou Jack. Or Warren Andrews. But
Philip and India denied the whole thing, didn't they?
That's right.
We should have known it. That tape proves that they're both criminals.
But there is a tape. You've got to believe that.
Yes, please.
And where is it, Lou Jack? We have searched every inch of that living room. And now we're working on the rest of the house and the grounds.
Maybe somebody took it with them when they left last night.
That's impossible. You were all searched.
But it could have just disappeared.
Lieutenant, please keep looking for that tape. You'll find it. I know you will.
I hope so. I'll tell you something, Lou Jack. Without it, your story is pretty weak.
Do you think I'm guilty?
It doesn't matter what I think, kid. I just gather the evidence and present it to the DA's office.
What are you going to tell them?
The truth, Lou Jack. You had motive, opportunity, and a murder weapon.
I didn't kill him! You gotta understand that I didn't kill him!